name is Steve Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is going to be a bit of a different video from my normal ones. This is not so much focusing on geeky, pop culture stuff. This is one of my wibbly wobbly videos going into my personal life, and my personal relationship with the good Lord. Blessed be He. I'm a bit of a religious guy. So listen, if you're an atheist, if you're not religious, if you don't share my my worldview, that is more than 100% cool. I try and only talk about this stuff if I think it has value for all human beings, regardless of your worldview. So and also, I'm always interested. Listen, just me, okay? I don't know what you're like. This is just me. I'm always interested having a window into like cultures or parts of the world that I have no connection with. And I just find that interesting. So there you go. So we're going to be talking about quite a lot of stuff here today. Before we get there, though, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? Yeah, listen, this video might be a little bit out of the ordinary, but still, the constants remain that I want you to like the video, I want you to share the video, but mostly, I want you to subscribe to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button. That would be fan-dabby double dozy. Thank you very much. I am, I say it every video, but it remains true. It totally does. It really remains true. I'm very, very grateful. I'm really genuinely grateful for each one of you that clicks that subscribe. But listen, I'm grateful for anybody who stops by and listens. I'm even grateful for people who stop by and listen. To like hate watch, which I get a few of them, which is bonkers. But okay, whatever. Listen, I'm a pretty egotistical guy. I think everything I have to say is pretty darn important and incredible. So I'm just happy to be talking to people, and having a like a platform, which is nice. Fine, say again, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. So today it's Friday, September 18th in the morning. It's 9:06 in the morning. Around 6:30 this afternoon is the Jewish New Year. It's Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. Now the Jewish New Year. I've been talking about it, but it's a big deal. It's It's basically each year. Again, this is in the Jewish, conception of reality. Reality is rebooted, right? Rebooted, and it's rebooted in a way that essentially God judges you. Judges you. On Rosh Hashanah. So it's supposed to be kind of a scary day, right? Because it's called the Day of Judgment, right? And it starts this thing called the 10 days of repentance, the 10 days of tshuva, 10 days of repentance, which culminates on Yom Kippur, which is a fast day. It's a 25-hour fast day where you don't eat anything, and basically you spend it in prayer. Listen, honestly, I find that the easiest fast of the year, because I'm just like, pretty tunnel visioned. If you can get there, it's good. So this year it's really, really bonkers, really different, because the synagogues can't have the people. People get packed into synagogues, right? And you have to be there for this thing called shofar blowing. Which is you get this ram's, or I don't. Somebody in the prayer group. You need at least 10 people. What are they doing in England? I'm really fascinated, because you can only have 6 people. Yeah, you have you have a prayer group called minions. They have to have 10 people, and they blow this ram's horn to herald the oncoming judgment, the oncoming jinn. But this year they don't do this. But there's 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. This is such an info dump I have to give you. There's 2 days. Normally in Israel, if you have the Jewish holiday, they're only 1 day long, which is really good. It's a really good reason to live in Israel, because if you live outside of Israel, they're 2 days when you're offline. So for me, by the time you watch this video, I will have been offline for about 24 hours. So I'm posting this on Saturday. I'm planning to go on Saturday. I'm not sure I'm going to tweet about it. Maybe I'll schedule a tweet about it. Well, I'm trying to make this a little bit more low-key, a little bit more low-key. So I'm going to be offline for 24 hours by the time you see this. And I'm going to continue to be offline for another 24 hours. So I am in this complete dead zone. Anything could be happening in the world. Jodie Whittaker could have signed for another 20 years of Doctor Who, or she might have been fired publicly and had to go. Her and Chibnall had to go on a shame walk throughout London. And I miss either way. If those things happen, I'm missing it, right? I hope someone's recording it, because I'm freaking missing it either way. That's why I'm in this dead zone. You're in the future. I don't know where you are. I don't know what's going to be. Not only are you in the future, you're in an unknown future, because reality reboots. You're in a future of a rebooted reality for me. Fine. So that's big, and also there's something I should know. There's lots of good food, right? That's it. Yeah, that's the way Jews tend to celebrate things. Lots of good food. So my wife has been cooking up a storm. On the first night of the Jewish Year, Rosh Hashanah, we traditionally had. This is not a Jewish tradition. This is a Lebeckian tradition. The rabbi tradition. We have beef Wellington. She makes Gordon Ramsay's recipe beef Wellington. Really freaking good. Beef Wellington, Yorkshire puds, roast potatoes. It's really good. And then the next day we have even more. For next day, I think she's making a brisket. Just tons of food. And on the evening, second day evening, we're having a dairy milk, because in Judaism you don't mix milk and meat together. So we're having, I think she's making a potato leek soup. The potato leek cheddar soup, I think, for that night. And we make this, she makes this really good mushroom soup for the first night with it's like a wine. It's really freaking good. Lots of different wild mushrooms. Absolutely, well, not wild mushrooms, I guess, because you might die horribly. But it's freaking good. But she made potato leek soup, and I think she's made salmon and risotto. She's got these risotto that she's going to made the risotto already. She's going to make it into balls, put a little bit of mozzarella in a minute. You bread it and then you fry it. They're called arancini. Freaking gorgeous. And then I think, God, I don't know what we got the next day. It's just like, it's a massive food fest. But the main food that you have is honey. Honey is in freaking everything, because we want to wish everybody to have the sweet new year. So we have like honey cake. You have this thing where you take an apple and you dip it in honey and eat it. So you have a sweet new year. The apple's round. Your out year should be, without bumps in it. There's lots of these weird traditions. So, I'm in a real quandary this year, like a real bizarre quandary this year, because I'm going into the Day of Judgment, the beginning of what's called the High Holy Days, with two people, I'm finding it hard to forgive. Now, why is that an issue, right? Why on earth is that an issue to me? It's because I think probably God, if he does exist, I think God, if he does it, will probably treat you the way you treat other people, right? I think you create your own reality. I think you create your own afterlife. I think you create your own life, right? And so if you're walking around and you have like lingering resentments and you're not able to get over it, you're not able to forgive something, maybe God won't be able to forgive something that you did too. So I like to go in to the Jewish New Year, into Rosh Hashanah, without these animosities, like to get rid of them. But I've been really struggling how to do it this year, because I'm going to tell you the story why. And I think when I tell you the story, you're probably going to be like, well, that's a bit of a tough job. But I also got a solution, right? I also got a solution, because which is really the point of this video, and I really hope that you use it too, right? Because I think it's a very freeing thing. Because forgiveness is a really good thing. It's a really good thing to do. It's worth watching this show, this movie, followed by 3 or 4 miniseries called This Is England, which is freaking brilliant. And just watch it because it's brilliant in of itself. But Joe Gilgun stars in it. I think he's the star. I love Joe Gilgun. One of the greatest actors, alive. I really do. I think he's absolutely fantastic. But he has this speech in it, right? And he said it's not a speech. It's so real. Okay, it's so authentic. Where he's trying to convince his friend to forgive another friend who did something terrible, and the friend he's trying to convince him, had done something absolutely terrible to him. And like blew up his life. Like did that, and eventually this guy, because he's such a great character, I tell you, I wish they would do more just so I could see more of this character, because I love this character so insanely much. Woody, it's just one of the greatest characters ever put on film. This character had something terrible done to him, absolutely terrible done to him by the friend he's trying to convince to forgive him, and he'd managed to forgive his friend, right, after like years of turmoil in his life. And when he's this speech, he goes, I don't know if it's ad-libbed, I don't know if it's scripted, but it seems so real. So listen, forgiveness is underrated. Forgiveness is freaking awesome. And what makes forgiveness so important for everyone, I think, it frees up the person who needs to forgive, because if you have lingering animosity, which I do, which I have had, which I think I've got rid of now, which I feel really good about. I feel really genuinely good about. If you have lingering animosity to somebody, you're trapped by it. You get trapped by traumatic parts of your life. You know what it's like? It's like that first episode of Deep Space Nine. You know, when Cisco, before he had the cool beard and his shaved head, he had the kind of dorky haircut, right? But that first episode was really cool because when he goes through the wormhole. He keeps getting he keeps being drawn back to this one partner's life. When his wife died, his wife was killed in the battle of Wolf 359. Up until then, we only saw like one shot of it in Best of Both Worlds, where they just engage the Borg, right? And they call the Enterprise and the battle doesn't go well, and then it goes dead. You're like, what? So eventually they actually showed bits of that. It wasn't as good as you hoped it would be. They showed bits of that, but Cisco was on a ship in there, and his wife gets killed there, and he gets dragged out, right? And he's trapped there. He's trapped there, psychologically. He can't get out of there, And he keeps going. And the aliens in the prophets in the wormhole, they ask him, why do you live here, right? And it's so true. It's so true. I have found myself living in the area, that I'm going to talk about, and not being able to be free of it. The only way you can be free of it, the only way you can really truly be free of it, is to forgive, right? Forgiveness is good for you, right? And I really want to be able to do it. But the problem is the people who I need to forgive have no regret whatsoever for the terrible things they've done. They have no regret whatsoever. They certainly haven't done anything to try and curry. They haven't said sorry. They haven't asked me for doing it. Now, I'm going to tell you the whole story, so to back you up. And if you've been following my channel for a while, a lot of it will sound familiar because I've talked about this over a year. So I think after January, beginning of the year, before the pandemic really hit, we had this ongoing thing in my community, which I can't go into details at all. I'm not going to go into details at all, but involved very, very serious allegations of like some people in the community against other people, within the community. And these are criminal allegations involving children. Okay, it was really bad, right? What really complicated it, I know, and I genuinely love. I've been thinking about. I genuinely love everybody involved on both sides of the allegations, right? And it made me crazy. Like it broke my heart in a lot of ways. It really did. But like it was really bad. So it got to a point where I was walking the street and I saw people like just burst into tears in the street, And I can't have that. I can't live with it, mate. I just can't live with it. And it was a problem. It was, and I saw like people being just all this hate flying around, and it's just. And again, I love everybody involved, and I hope everybody involved knows that I do. And they are very, very sharp sides of the of this divide, and I do. I genuinely love everybody involved, and wish nothing but the best of them. And I think people know that, right? But they don't know. They do now, because I got to a point where a religious official in our community made a very bad decision, which elevated one side of the of this divide and lowered and disregarded the other side, which I thought was a very bad idea. It was an extremely, extremely bad idea, and it was just going to have terrible repercussions. So I went to this official and I spoke with him for hours, literally hours, trying to talk him down from this position. And I had to tell you, everything that I predicted would happen happened. Well, from this action, but a lot more as well. It's worth noting. It's worth noting that the allegations were being investigated by the police, and the investigations now concluded and cleared the person who was alleged to be the criminal. And now, unfortunately, because of this official's decision, I think this is what really tipped the balance. What really tipped that's made no difference. It's made no difference whether the divisions that were built within the community, was solidified by this idiot nitwit decision. So I couldn't live with it. I couldn't live with it at all. I needed to say something. I needed to speak out against it. I couldn't be silent, and I couldn't be a party to this decision. So I had this volunteer position where I was like ran one of the prayer groups. It was the most fun one in town. People used to love coming. It was one of the most fun ones in town. But and then when I went and spoke to this official, wouldn't budge. And in my estimation, listen, nobody knows what goes on inside people's head. Well, nobody knows what goes inside people's hearts, right? But in my estimation, I think that this official felt that he would lose face if he backtracked from his, terrible, in my estimation, terrible decision, right? Absolutely terrible decision. Honestly, this is honestly, it just made this official look like he was corrupt. It made him look like he was in the pocket, a pocket of another guy, which I don't think he was. I just think he didn't want to lose face by backing down, and he could have just done it quietly. I was there to help him. That's what he didn't realize. I was there to help him. And, I had no animosity to him whatsoever. But anyway, so, I get up in front of, the community, while I'm running this prayer group and say, look, I can't do this next week. Can't do this anymore because I can't be a party to this official's decision, which I thought was wrong. I think it's stupid. I think so. And unfortunately, then I made a mistake. Then I screwed up, right? Because I got angry. I was like, I was angry. I was angry at the stupidity, the sheer stupidity that brought us here, right? Really, no one could back down, arseholes. Really, no. And really just back down, and everything would be fine. But so I got angry, and then I denounced this official in a way that is a very high level sin. There are different levels of sin in the world, and the ones that come from the ones that are listed in the Bible, one that are listed in the Old Testament. That's what the big ones, right? But still, most time when for most things, you can just, if you're wrong, you get up, you say you're sorry, you eat a bit of humble pie, and that's it, move on with life. Unfortunately, this couldn't happen because this drove the official just lost it. Okay, I think there's no other way of describing. He lost it in a way that I've never seen anybody lose it before. I crushed him beyond belief. It wasn't my intention at all. Wasn't my intention. I crushed him completely beyond belief. He acted as if I raped him and murdered his family. I think I don't, and I'm not exaggerating. He went on this just tear. So about a day later, I was like, okay, so I'll get up and apologize. I shouldn't have said that thing I said. I shouldn't have said. I will apologize publicly. I have no problem with that, because I believe in God. Bottom line, I believe if you screw up, you're going to pay for it in this world or the next, right? I'd rather do it in this world, and it wasn't that. To me, it wasn't a big deal. So this official was going to give this a public address about this, and I was like, fine, I'll do it there. I'll do it in front of him. No problem. I couldn't do that because he wouldn't let me in the room. So he gets up and does this address and insists the entire community come there. And basically he goes and he reams out the community, from what I understand, for an hour. And says this, didn't go well. I think it's fair to say, did not go well. And then he vanished for a couple of weeks. He was on a total meltdown. So anyway, but I screwed up. 100%. I done it. So. But mostly, people understand that you make a mistake. If you want to say sorry, you can move on, and that's really the level, the level that we all want to live with, right? We want not them. So what was going on at the same time? There was this completely spineless pussy loser, complete spineless pussy loser, who I wasn't even on my radar, right? Wasn't on my radar at all, who had this burning animosity for me for years and years and years and years. Years! I had no idea. I found all that out later, right? This burning animosity to me, and I was like his Moriarty, right? I was like, "Ugh." And he saw I was on the ropes, right? He saw I was in trouble, and he pounced. He pounced with everything he could. And he was going to screw me over. He wanted to lead the charge to screw me over royally, and he couldn't wait. He could not wait. Which actually, as it happens, is another sin to the same level as, actually, way beyond my one. Way beyond my one, because mine was it was a crime of passion. I screwed up. It was a crime of passion. I was angry. I said something. This was malicious animosity over years. So what caused this? And again, this guy wasn't even on my radar. Like, not on my radar at all. Like, didn't know existed. And all the time I was like in his headspace. As you know, I'd say he's been in mine for a lot for the. Not as much as as that, but more than I like over the past year, right? Actually, not so much, really. Somebody else has been much more, because he was such a loser. He said, like, why would I worry? He's just such a loser. So he pounced, right? He wanted to screw me over royally, and look, it was much better because he failed. He failed completely. As well as being a liar, hypocrite, loser, spineless coward, he's also a massive failure, right? And he failed completely. Just crashed and burned. So it wasn't. But okay. So what happened was we had four officials from the community. By the way, the reason the genesis of this guy's like burning animosity against me, right, was several years earlier he had another elected volunteer position within the community, and he had this nitwit idea. Again, this was years ago. I hardly remember. He had this nitwit idea to cancel this community fee, which would have the strange side effect that he wouldn't have to pay it. It's little cheapskate loser that he is, right? And so I spoke out against it. I had to say, well, that's a bit of a nitwit idea, it's a bit of a stupid idea, and like just show the difference between us. When I didn't even know that fee existed, we paid it. Upon hearing it, we went and paid it. Rather he was trying to legislate getting rid of it altogether, because it was a nitwit idea. So it was coming up to election for his position. And so I said, well, I pointed out that in my estimation, this cancelling this fee was a bit of a nitwit idea, and the guy got trounced in the election, like just trounced, right? And ever since then, he was like, ah! And honestly, okay, look, I'm the type of guy. If I got something, I'm mad at you about, I'm going to come up here, I'm going to look you in the eye, and I'm going to tell you, which is what I did to these guys about a month and a half ago, right? I'm going to tell you straight. Don't let it fester. Don't let it burn. Because why? Because that makes you a weasel. That makes you a little pussy weasel. And I don't want to be a little pussy weasel. And I would recommend all of you, don't be little pussy weasels. It's not good. It's not fun. It's not funny. Okay? Don't be little pussy weasels. So anyway, so him led a group of four people, four officials from the community, to come to my house to explain to me what they wanted, which was ridiculous, right? It was like, if they had gone through with it, it would have like caused a lot more. I mean, listen, if we'd gone through with that, it might well have led to my suicide, right? It might well have done, right? And there's a very reasonable chance. But before then, I would have gone to war with the community, with them, and it would have just made everybody miserable, right? Because I have so much dirt. I have so much dirt on so many people that I kept my mouth shut, including this official who was so offended. I have so much freaking dirt on all of them. By the way, this official also who wanted to do this, it was behind this. Well, I think it's being manipulated a little bit by the pussy weasel, right? But this official to do this thing would also involve doing the same level of sin that he was upset. They said, "Oh, we cannot let this go." So they are massive hypocrites, right? But the official I'm able to forgive, no problem, because I gave him a nervous breakdown, right? You give someone a nervous breakdown, I can kind of let things go. Although I have to say, the reason that the justification for all his many objective sins, right? His justification was, he's very hurt. You could have. So in my mind, you can have it one of two ways, right? You can either be this holy official, right? This holy official who cannot be criticized. But in that being the case, you can't allow your human frailties to influence your decision making. And if you are going to allow your human frailties to influence your decision making, you can't be treated, and put on that pedestal. You can't have one or the other. It's just pure Hypocrisy. But yeah, who cares? For him, I'm able to forgive, and I haven't had any animosity for him. So yeah, an interesting aside, by the way. Well, this went on for months. My life was blown up for months. I wasn't allowed to be in the same room as him. And this was like the fair bit, the thing when this is not what they wanted. I wasn't allowed to be in the same freaking room as him for months. I had to go to a different prayer group. It was like a real pain in the ass. But but eventually, about 2 months later, he was able to forgive me. And I was like, okay, whatever, thank you. But forgive me on condition that I go and speak to this other, this judge, this Jewish judge. To I can personally understand the true depths of my crime and my sin. So I went to speak. It was at the beginning of the pandemic. It was one of our first Zoom meetings, and he's like, "Yeah, this little old guy. Whoa, wait, did he have my back? Did he take my side?" It was like, "What's this guy's problem? He's crazy." It was like, and like he was there to like admonish me, and he couldn't. It was like, okay. I think I'm actually quoting. He said, "You acted perfectly." I think it's what he said. You acted everything you did. Yes, you made a mistake, but you're willing to. You had complete regret. You'll come apologize publicly. What's this guy's problem? He's crazy, right? And yeah, he couldn't believe how crazy. And I didn't tell him a lot of the bad stuff they did. Yeah, I kept that. Because why? Let it go, mate. So anyway, these 4 people come to my house. Now, since this time, 2 of those people have come and made it right for me, right? They made it right to me, and they were not there happily. And like one of them actually took, I know one of them went to bat for me and took a hit for me, right? But the other 2, one was the weasel, and one was this moron. One was this simpering moron who let himself be led round by a nose and didn't think about anything whatsoever. So these 2 people. Are liars. They're hypocrites. They one intentionally and one not intentionally. But I don't care. You hitch your wagons up to somebody. That's who you hitch your wagons up to. And so anyway, I gave them some months to be able to, because they knew they're out of line. You know how they know they're out of line, by the way? Because when they started to see the first inklings of the results of what they were going to do, I took my camera out and started filming it, right? They turned white. And they shrunk a freaking foot in front of me. And then the weasel, I think pissed himself. Would refuse to be on camera. And stand by his words. He wouldn't do it because he's a coward, because he's a loser, because he's a weasel. And yeah, his mistake, amongst his mistakes was he judged me with the same weaselly cowardice that he lives with. He thought I wouldn't be able to get up and apologize. He thought I wouldn't have the backbone for it. But he's a pussy. He's a massive pussy, and what does he know? So yeah, so there you go. So so I gave him some time to think out, and I waited till the Jewish day of mourning, Tisha B'Av, which was many months later, for these 2 to come and apologize to me. No. So at that point, I gave them 1 more week. And then I went up to them, just like I said, looked them in the eye and said, yeah, you did this, you did that, and I'm not going to forgive you, right? So what's the big deal of that? Is that, it's going to be there. Then it's something they're going to have to deal with in the holy court, in God's holy court, rather than let it go. And I would forgive them had they only come to me and apologize. So now I'm in a quandary, right? I'm in a quandary that I don't want God to treat me in a way that without compassion. And I don't want God not to forgive me for my mistakes. But look, I don't think it's comparable, because I think I proved to the world, if I make a mistake, I'm ready to get up and say sorry. This apology I gave, which these mother, but my life was blown up. I was getting death threats. It was freaking crazy, right? And so I said, fine, I'll apologize. They delayed my apology going out for 3 or 4 days just to torture me, right? Just to make my life work. But anyway, I want to be able to forgive them, but what? So now I was trying to think, well, why can't I forgive them? What? Listen, I want to get this out of my head. I don't want to have this. Why can't I? And when you analyze it, they didn't disadvantage me at all. In fact, they only did good for me. I got the respect now in the community that I would never have got. Never been able to get without this incident. I have the respect of people, and this is a massive blessing. This is a massive blessing I wish on all of you. I have the respect of people that I respect, right? They were like, whoa, Lebetkin, he's a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy, and they know. Nobody knows I'm not a pussy, right? Everybody knows, not to mess with me. And everybody knows that I'm kind of a straight shooter, right? And I'm pretty tough. It's like it just did good for me in the community. They moreover, more than that, these guys, they came to like deliver curses. They like a curse upon me, and I turned those curses into blessings, right? Which is no, and I didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't me. It just it's the way way it worked out. So yeah, I agreed not to tell anyone about the things they wanted to do. The thing I agreed not to release a film of them that I had. Personally, I don't need to live with anybody else having a gag order on what I said because I can. I stand by my words. These spineless pussies don't. So, but I want to be able to forgive them. I want to get like. I don't want them taking up my headspace, but and they had to disadvantage me. Ultimately, they benefited me, right? But still, how can I forgive them when they have no regret? When they have no regret for what they've done. So this is the conclusion that I came to, that I can forgive them. I can forgive them for their and I'm going to tell you how I can forgive them. Whatever God does with them is out of my hands. Maybe God will forgive them because I'm forgiving them. I don't know. Maybe God won't. But that's something you have to take on. Like the blowing up my life that happened because of it. I take it. I take my lumps. When you say something, you step out. When you do something, you take accountability for your actions, right? And I'm prepared to do that, right? I'm not a pussy. I'm not a pussy. I will take accountability for and I did very publicly. And these guys can't because they're spineless losers. And the same reason this official couldn't take it took zero accountability for his failure. Look, I am of the opinion, and I think many people are, that if you are a community leader, then you are responsible for where the community finds itself, right? And even if it's not through your decision making, taking that kind of it's called achraya, taking that kind of responsibility is leadership. And if you don't do it, you're not a leader, right? It's a catch-22. Right now, it happened to be the place where we find ourselves now. In my opinion, is very much because of the that officials' failure. Yeah, officials' failure, but no accountability. Takes no accountability for his failure whatsoever because he can't. Because he's also a weak person, right? Weak people can't do it, and that's why they thought I wouldn't apologize because as I said, they judged me by the same yardstick they live by, which is weaselly, spineless, cowards. I don't want to be a weaselly, spineless coward. I don't think that's what God wants of us, right? I don't think that's what God. But I said I had this I was still trapped, right, by the animosity I had because when they came to deliver it, the weasel, part of it was he got to tell me off, right. And I swear, well, not swear. You're not supposed to swear in Judaism. I am reasonably convinced he had a hard-on. He had an erection. I'm really, really sure of it. He was getting off in it, and I would guess he touches himself at night, thinking about it still. I think it was one of his greatest moments of his life, because he's a weasel. He's a coward. He doesn't get to, pretend to be big. He doesn't get to pretend to be strong. He doesn't get to convince himself he's strong off him because he's a weaselly, weak coward, So I think it was probably one of the greatest moments of his life. Probably until I whipped out my camera and he turned white. What a loser. So the guy I really had real genius. So the weasel I didn't have that much anger with, but the other guy who was supposed to be my friend, who no friend of bloody mine, the reason I'm mad at that guy who's supposed to be my friend. He has no idea. He has no idea what I've done for him, right? What I've kept back for him. What he does no freaking clue how much he was gonna screw me up. He has no freaking clue. He has no freaking clue what the gates of hell he was opening as well with it with what they wanted to do. He had no freaking clue. He wouldn't be able to walk the street. And listen, if it did lead to my suicide, which it was genuinely possible, if it did lead to my suicide. I'm going to make my wife and children widows and orphans. Do you think I wouldn't take a few of them with me? Yeah. This is the fire that you're playing with. This is the fire you're playing with. But because he had put zero thought, Zero thought whatsoever into his actions. He didn't realize, he was actually playing. And I honestly, I think they had blood on their hands as well for the way they treated somebody else in our community who really built the, built the synagogue, my local synagogue. Like really built it, loved it, and then this official came in and he wanted to do things one way, and that guy wanted it another way. And again, I think it's all about ego. I think it's all entirely about ego. And they had a power struggle, and this guy won. This official won, and that's when this guy's health started to go. Health started a couple of years later. He's dead. A couple of years later, he's in the ground, and I think it's connected. I think it's connected. So we got the day of judgment coming, and so these guys. Another reason I should be able to forgive them is because these guys are completely screwed. These guys are completely screwed. Like, God's about to judge them, right? And I think he's got to judge them the way they wanted to judge me. And they could have just get out of it so easily. They could get out of it so easily, but they're not. So I think they're completely screwed. But still, that animosity, couldn't get rid of it. And so I tried praying. I pray every day. And again, listen, if you're an atheist, you're somebody who doesn't pray, give it a go. Give it a go, something. Just as an experiment. Say, listen, God, I don't know if you're there, but I'll say 9 times out of 10, God will. You'll get an answer, right? Maybe not. I'm not here to proselytize. I'm not here to tell you what to do, right? I'm just telling you what my life is. So I couldn't get over it. I just couldn't get over it. And I wanted at least, forgive them to an extent that they're not in my head anymore, right? And finally, I was able to do it. I prayed it, and I got the solution. And it proves to you that God does indeed walk in mysterious ways, because you get the answers in the strangest places. This happened to come from about a 20-year-old episode of Red Dwarf, which I wasn't even watching at the time, right? It was just like something bouncing around my head. There's this great episode where Arnold Rimmer is put in prison by this robot prison for causing the accident that caused everybody get killed on the spaceship Red Dwarf, right? Which he didn't do, and it turns out it was picking up on his personal guilt from it. It was not his actions. So he had Crichton, the robot, was defending Rimmer, and his defense was, this man's a buffoon. He couldn't have done what he's charged to do. There's no way anybody would have given him that level of responsibility. So then he had this wonderful line. This line, which I think just changed my life. Like, really hit me, right? He said, this man's crime is nothing more than being Arnold Rimmer. That is his crime, and that is his punishment. Right? That is a crime, that is his punishment. So then I applied it to these two gentlemen, right? And firstly, the weasel, the pathetic little cowed weasel, little piss boy that he is. His crime is being who he is, right? It didn't occur to me for a second that I was in danger from this person, because it didn't even occur to me anybody could be so low. Any adult could be so pathetic, so low, as to have a lingering of resentment and to spout after years. I mean, again, to be such a hypocrite. I didn't think it was. I really didn't think it was possible. I genuinely didn't think it was possible. Whoa. Wow, so his crime is being who he is, right? That is his crime. He's, what a disgust. And he loves taking, honor. He loves, it's called covered. He loves it. He lives for it, right? In my estimation. So he could never apologize publicly or privately. Because, again, he's a pussy, spineless, coward. So that is his crime, being a pussy, spineless, coward loser, right? Failure on top of everything. Again, because what they came to do, they weren't able to do. I blew them out the bloody water. That's his crime. That's also his punishment. Your punishment is you get to be that pathetic, loser, pussy, coward, right? That's what I can't imagine being that person. I can't imagine it in a million years. But there you go. There you go. So the other one who I think has more of a belief in God, but again, what an idiot. He is going to hell. And I believe in hell. He is going to hell. He is going to hell because he's an idiot. Right? Okay? He could get off the train any time. No, He's just an idiot. And again, this guy was supposed to be my friend. Yeah, he hasn't even come to ask me what I'm upset about after I told him. Right? Yeah, whatever. Okay. And look, a lot of time people come right before Rosh Hashanah, right before the Day of Judgment, to try and get forgiveness from someone. Listen. I don't rate the chances. Be honest with you, I don't rate the chances. And I don't want them to know that I'm forgiving them on any level. But for me to give like open forgiveness, they're gonna have to treat themselves the way they treated me, right? And then they're gonna have to take accountability for themselves the way I took accountability for myself. And I don't think they got the stones to do it. I just don't think they got the stones to do it. But I'm hoping they don't come. Listen, one certainly. Well, I doubt one will come. Maybe the other one. Don't really care. Don't know. Don't really care. But once I had that lie in my head, that is their crime, that is also their punishment. Once I had that in my head, that made everything much easier. Then I was like, okay, I can let it go. I doubt God's going to. I doubt God is going to, but whatever. If when I die and go to heaven and I find out what happens to them, I guess I'm going to see some justice or not. I trust in God. But bottom line, whatever God's judgment is, okay, I trust it, and I guess I hope, God hasn't personally, on a personal level, God hasn't let me down as yet, right? And I've been religious for coming on 30 years now, right? God hasn't let me down yet, so I guess I'm gonna do. I've gone this far. I'll go a step further too. But so anyway. The point of this video is I want to say to you guys, today really is Rosh Hashanah. Today is the Day of Judgment. Now, this is when essentially that your fate for the year gets written down by God, right? So I had a bit of a problem with that. Like, how can we have free will? How can we have self-determination? And how can we have predetermination at the same time? They would seem contradictory. So I think the answer is like this: that your range of fates are written for this year. Your multiverse is written for this year, and it all depends on your actions, which way you go, what you do, right? But your basic, this thing, I don't think there's any way of me avoiding this blowing up of my life. And that was written last year, but I think that was, and it's interesting. It happened to me right after I finished this great milestone in Jewish learning. I just finished this thing called the Siyum Shas, which is the codification of Jewish law from about 2,000 years ago. It's a massive tome of work, and if you do like 1 page a day, it takes you about 7 years. It took me about 20. But it takes about 7. So I finished it, right? And that's a big deal. It was right after that happened. So I think that because I got to one level of spirituality, I think I was able to get this kind of test, right? But so I think it was probably a good thing in hindsight. I think it was a test with these other guys, and a test. Look, I'm guessing they failed. I'm guessing they failed. That's me. So this is the point thing. I'm saying, if there's somebody out there who's wronged you, who genuinely wronged you, right, and especially if they have no regret for what they did to you, they have no regret, right, and they can't, and you're trapped there, like Cisco, right, and you're trapped there. If you try this thing that worked for me. That is their crime. Being who they are, that is their crime. That is also their punishment. That for me took out a lot of the personal animosity, and it kind of freed me. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, try praying. Who knows? And look, again, this is the day, I think, where everything is judged, right? Everything is judged. Try and think about, this is where New Year's resolutions come from, right? Because you want to try and be better next year. Try and think about what you will be, what type of person you want to be. You get the choice of doing what you want or being who you want to be, right? That's your choice. You can do what you want, or you can be who you want to be. And being who you want to be is often, a little bit tricky. So that's really, I would really urge all of you, if there's anybody in your lives who you haven't forgiven, certainly if they have regret, find it in yourself to forgive them, right? Find it, because if they have genuine regret, it's better for you. It's better for everyone to forgive them. If you have, if they have no regret, still, and you can find the way to forgive them on this. Listen, I would certainly like to see them, face retribution, right? I would love to see that. But again, I trust in God. Whatever God thinks as well. I'll be, fine. Okay, I'll go along with that. But if that's me for you. But if you can, if you can forgive them even to that level. So like, again, yeah, I still want to see them see retribution. But I think that's the best way I can possibly do. Like, but I'm open to it not happening, right? And I wasn't open to being in this position 3 days ago, right? It just occurred to me 3 days ago. So yeah, that's the way. So this is like, I hope that you're able to do that. And listen, I want to close it and give you give you guys a blessing, right? And by the way, your multiverse is written on today, on Rosh Hashanah, on the Day of Judgment, the Jewish New Year. It's sealed 10 days later for Jews, I believe, on Yom Kippur, which is like a big fast day. So 25 hours you don't eat. But for non-Jews, it's sealed about a week later on the festival of Sukkot. This is an offer only to subscribers, right? Only to subscribers. If anybody wants me to pray for anything for them on that holiday in the Holy Land, please send me whatever prayers you have. It'll be my honor. And again, I don't care if you believe in God or not. It doesn't, and it shouldn't matter to you either. All right? I make no judgment. Well, tell me whatever you want. Send me your prayer. I am happy and delighted to pray for you guys. Really, I'll do it so you don't have to. But much like watching Doctor Who, I do it, you don't have to, right? But yeah, so listen, it's the Jewish New Year. We give. I'm going to end with a traditional blessing that I'm going to wish you guys this upcoming year to be a Shana Tova Umatuka. Shana means year, Tova means a good one. I want you to have a good year. Umatuka, and this is more important. Umatuka means and a sweet one. I want you to have a sweet, good year. Honestly, the people who I'm like quasi forgiving, right? I'm at a point now where I feel bad for them, right? I feel bad for them because even though I would like to see them zapped, like, geez, I would much rather like to see them, pull it together and get their act together and be better people, and be able to take accountability for their failures. Because I know with crystal clarity that it's going to happen in this world or the next, right? This world or the next, and I just hope they're able to find it within themselves to be able to do it. Because I feel bad for them. I do. I feel it's so I think that's a decent level to get to. So yeah, listen, I wish you guys a happy, sweet New Year. I hope everything that you want, you get. I hope everything you want is good for you and you get. Again, I'm just going to close with the traditional Jewish blessing. Shana Tova Umatuka. Have a happy, sweet New Year.